We're live. How you doing, Mondo? Hope all is well. All right, it's been like 2 weeks. Stuff has happened, so I couldn't do anything. So, but we're back today, and we'll just move forward. That's all. It's the best you could do. It's summertime, and things are getting a little bit better as far as the COVID stuff, so getting out of the house a little bit more, going a few more places. So I might not be doing this every single weekend, and if I do change the date, the time, or whatever, of course I'll let you guys know. So that's it. So we're coming to you live on Facebook, and as always, if you want to join me live as a guest on Zoom during the live Facebook, you're more than welcome to do that. All you have to do is just message me, Facebook message me, and I will send you that information, and you can join me live on air. Yeah, crazy week this week. Hello, Uncle Jerry. How are you? Thanks for joining. Hope all is well with you and everyone else. Hope Lucy is good. Hope everyone's okay. It's been a while. But we're back, and hopefully you notice some differences in the quality. I've upgraded the quality of this broadcast by adding a different camera, and also I just finished building a brand new computer last weekend. That's the reason why I wasn't on last weekend, because I built a much more powerful computer so it can handle this podcast, this video podcast that was giving me so many problems with audio and video and network and all kinds of stuff, and I refuse to talk about that stuff anymore, and hopefully I won't have to talk about that again, because I know I bored everybody with that. I'm glad you're hanging in there, Uncle Jerry. I just saw your message from Facebook. I've got like 2 monitors. I've got a Facebook open on my phone to see all the messages and everything. I mean, I do have them on the screen, but there's a little bit of a delay. Hello, Vanessa. Vanessa. So glad you joined us today. Vanessa wrote a book. Vanessa is a classmate of mine, and I actually have the book right here. Oh, it's like blending in because it has green on it, so it's blending into the background. But I'm going to show this to you guys. Let's see if you can see that a little bit better. Completely Cain and Venus by the author. She goes by V. Williams for the book. Pick it up, it's on Amazon. It's a romance, but it looks very interesting. I have not yet opened it. I'm looking forward to opening it. This is on Amazon. Okay? It'll be a great read for the summer. Again, Completely Cain and Venus by V. Williams. Get it today from Amazon. Yeah, sorry, Vanessa. It's like blending in to the background because it's green, and I have a green screen behind me. Hey, Arkita. Thanks for joining. Wow, some of my classmates from back in the day are joining. So glad that you're on here. I hope everyone's doing well. Also, my Uncle Jerry, his daughter, Maria, also has 2 books out. Maria Scrivan You could check her out too. She's got the books. It's more like for junior high school kids, but anyone could read it. It's like a graphic novel, so that's cool. You check that out. The first book is Not Enough by Maria Scrivan. What's up, Jason? How are you? Hope everybody's well. All right, now that some people are joined, let's get into today's topic. Okay? Today's topic is, what is your marketable skill? Which could include like any skills you have that maybe you can start a small business with, or write a book, or create a side business. You know, what are your marketable skills? You know, what are your marketable skills at work? What are your hobbies? Can you turn a hobby into a career or into a side job? That's what today's topic is. So I want to hear from you guys both on Facebook, and if you want to join me live on Zoom, just Facebook message me. I'll give you the information. You can join me as a live guest on Zoom, and we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. Vanessa, you want to promote your book? You're more than welcome to hop on, and you could talk about it much better than I could. So that's it. So again, that's the topic today. What is your marketable skill? Can you start a business with that, or any other skill that you have? Can you start a business with that, or a side hustle, or whatever? Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. Let's have some comments in Facebook about it. And, you know, that doesn't have to be the only subject we talk about. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, so I just want to hear from you as well. What do you guys want to talk about? Let me know, and we'll go through it. All right. And I hope everybody can hear me all right and see me okay. Just let me know in the comments on Facebook. All right. So, since I know me the best, I'll talk about what my most marketable skills are. Well, as far as work is concerned, I'm in the audiovisual business. So that's like soundboards and video conferencing and WebEx, and I've become somewhat of the WebEx guy at work, taking care of that stuff. So that's a marketable quality that I have. I can be an admin of WebEx at work. I can run a soundboard. I can run video cameras, big presentations, town halls. I know PowerPoint inside and out. So those are marketable skills. What's your skill at work? You know, maybe you're a teacher. You teach English. Maybe you write a book. Those are marketable skills. Maybe you're an artist. You're an artist and you draw on paper. But now you got into graphic design. You could do that on the side, like make logos for people. That's a marketable skill. Even let's say you're a teacher and you do that on the side, but you get really good at it, and you have a computer and you have like graphics programs, Photoshop, things like that. You could do that on the side. There's something that you might or might not know about. It's called Fiverr. I once wanted a logo for my DJ company, and my first logo, which was really the company name, and I hired someone on Fiverr to make me a logo. And people make side money off of that. That's a marketable skill. All right, Vanessa, you teach, so you can do tutoring on the side. That's excellent. As you may or may not know, my dad was a teacher, and he did that as well. He tutored on the side, and besides working during the day at the high school, my father would also teach night school. In the summers when I was younger, he was a head camp supervisor, counselor, and later on then he did summer school. So he did, that because he had all that teaching experience, So yeah, you can shoot off things on the sides like tutoring and stuff like that, test prep, things of that nature. So yeah, teachers have that skill. And like, if you're a music teacher, what do? You give music lessons, whether it's vocal lessons, piano lessons, guitar lessons, drum lessons, what have you. You could shoot that off on the side if you wanted to. If you're a really good singer, maybe you could do that in the evening. You go out singing at a nightclub. Obviously not right now, but when things are so-called normal, then you could, get a job singing in a lounge, make your own recordings, sell songs on iTunes. These are things you could do. These are marketable skills, and that's what we're talking about today, marketable skills. I have a few. I've done little tiny side hustle businesses and things like that. So I took this audiovisual stuff that I knew about, and I took that and knowledge and the love of building home theater systems. I was the guinea pig at first. I built a home theater system for myself, and then I said, I think I might be able to parlay this into something on the side. So I used to install home theater systems for people. They were really basic, but all the wiring and connecting everything and showing the customer how to use all the remote controls and the inputs and things like that, and stuff like that. So I did that for a while. In fact, I used to work across the street from J&R Music World when they were open years ago, and I had asked them, who is your installer for, any home theater system? And they said, well, we don't have anybody. So here I was with a card and a flyer, and I said, hey, I'm your guy. I don't do really elaborate stuff. I'm by myself, but I can hang a TV on the wall if I needed to. I can run some wires inside the wall and route them through whatever. And I did that for a while. In fact, I even got called for like minor repairs, like somebody's speaker wasn't working in the ceiling or something. So I would do that. So I took these skills that I had from work and I parlayed that into a side hustle. And, that worked out pretty good. But then they started coming out with more HDMI wiring and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? There's really no need for me to really do this anymore. And at that time, my daughter was just about ready to be born. And it was so time consuming. I just said, you know what? I think I'm done doing that on the side. So, but at least I did it. So, marketable skill. And for years, when I was 16 years old, I started dabbling in the DJing stuff. I was always into music. My mom was a singer. She sang opera at Brooklyn Academy of Music and choir music. And my father played guitar and sang. And I used to sing a little bit and, do my thing. What's up, Keith? Thanks for joining. So close by. So, yeah, marketable skills. So over the years, when I was 16, I started dabbling in DJing. I bought some turntables. A friend gave me a mixer, and I bought another turntable, and I started to mix vinyl records and stuff. And I would do it here and there, and then I would go with my friends, and they would do basement parties, and I'd say, can I get in there a little bit? And maybe I'd mix one or two, songs or something like that. And we'd take turns, and we'd show each other how to do that. And some other friends were DJs. There were a lot of DJs in my old neighborhood. And I did that, and on and off over the years, I kind of dabbled in it. And then when the MP3 stuff came out, I was at I think it was a July 4th party. and someone had these little speakers and this little controller, and I was asking the person all kinds of questions about the controller and the MP3s and how you're mixing them and this and that. And I heard the person mix, and I said, you know what? I think I can mix better than this other person. And I have a sound background from running soundboards and things like that, and taking sound classes and sound design I did in college. And so when the MP3 stuff came out, I bought a new controller. I downloaded more music. I already had music on iTunes, and I started to dabble in that. And I did that on and off for a few years, here and there, until my brother-in-law said, hey, we're throwing a backyard party, and I need a DJ. Do you know anybody? Maybe I'll pick up speakers. I said, you know what? I'll DJ the party. I wanted speakers for my band anyway. So I said, you know what? I'll do this. And I DJ'd a party, and then I said, you know what? Let me turn this into something on the side. Now, unfortunately, I started to do a few parties here and there. It's not my living. It's just a side hustle kind of thing, part-time, if you even want to call it that. And then my mom got really sick, so kind of had to put that on the shelf. And now COVID's here. So, thing is this, marketable skills. I'm going to keep going back to that. I turned a hobby into something that could potentially make money. I bought all this equipment, and hopefully when this COVID's over, that little side hustle business will pick up and it'll start paying off. So what about you guys? What are some skills that you have that you could change into a side hustle? How you doing, Joe? Nice to see you on here. Let's talk about that. I mean, I'm actually getting really, I just got another new lease that I picked up. I picked up a black car, and I've been watching all these detailing videos and how to wax the car the right way and wash it and all. And I'm thinking, detailing, that doesn't look too hard. There's so many videos that you can watch to learn about stuff, whether it's car detailing or how to do a podcast or how to build a computer. If you were here at the beginning, I mentioned that I built a computer last Saturday. It took me about 2 months to get all the parts to build it, but last Saturday I built a computer. I took most of the day to build it, and we're seeing this podcast on it right now. And I'm thinking, it was actually easier than I thought it was. Maybe that's something in the future. If somebody needs a computer built, I can charge them X amount of dollars to build a computer for them. I can design it and then actually put it together. Now I know that I can actually do that. I did it about 14 years ago, but things have changed a lot in the world of building computers. So guys, gals, let me know what you have as a marketable skill. All right, Vanessa, mobile detailing would be great right now. You could go to the people. That's right. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. And you can, like I said, you could find all these videos on YouTube from people that are actually detailers. And they do have mobile detailing businesses out there. Like they have like a truck, and there's like a generator and a power washer. You don't even really need all that. If the person at the house has a hose, you just use your attachments to the hose, and you like foam up the car, and you wipe it down with the right, cloth that won't scratch your car, stuff like that. So, if you guys again want to join me live as a guest on Zoom, just Facebook message me, and I'll be glad to put you on live. All right, we're going to keep on with this topic, but I do want to touch on something that happened this week. We lost two people from the civil rights movement. And let me just jump to this page here. You guys can see this. Civil rights icon, Reverend C.T. Vivian, died at 95 years old. He was also a person that was instrumental in the marches and for civil rights and the civil rights movement back in the 60s, in the 50s and 60s. And also we just lost U.S. Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis. He was 80 years old. He marched arm in arm with Dr. Martin Luther King, and these were like the last two people, with the exception of maybe Jesse Jackson and some others, that were really instrumental in pushing forward the civil rights movement and getting that pushed into law in 1964 by President Johnson. So these two men will be missed, and we should remember them for what they did for people of color. They're very important figures in that movement, and that movement still needs to continue. Okay, I don't want to be somber or anything like that, but I thought I just wanted to get that out there. It was very important. So, yeah. Let's know what your marketable skills are. Come up with any ideas. Is there anything you guys do that you like, that you would like to maybe turn into a side business or something like that? Do you have any friends that you go, you know, this person would be really good at this. Maybe they could turn this into a side business. I want to hear from you. I can blab all day. I can blab the whole hour if I wanted to. But this show, I like it to be a little bit more interactive. So I want to get you guys involved. I want to hear from the people. Let me know your thoughts. We can talk about other topics as well. We're not limited to one topic. That's just the topic of the day. Okay? And, you know, since COVID's still going on, I got to ask you people, what are you guys doing? Do you feel like things are opening up a little bit more where you live? Because not all of us live in New York, like I do. Some of us live down south. Some of us live in Connecticut. Some of us live in California. Speaking of which, Jason, if you're still on, how's it going out there in California? Let me know. Just got to scroll through this phone real quick. All right. So, I want to hear from everybody. Let me know. Tell me how the feed is doing. Does it look good? Jason, Cali is shutting down more and more. Just be careful out there, Jason. Wear your masks, social distancing, all that stuff. You're better to stay with your family in your house, with your doggy, and all that. No school openings, no. It's going to be a while. All right, what does Vanessa have to say? In Georgia, things opened up too quickly. Now we're trying to work on opening up the schools. Yeah. New York kind of got it first in the U.S. basically, so we kind of went over some of those hurdles already. But now, you know, in other states other than New York, school starts in August. Jason, my wife does not allow me to leave the house. Well, that's a smart woman. You married a smart woman. You shouldn't leave the house unless you absolutely have to leave the house. Because I was saying, and I'm still saying this, you have to go out for supplies. Masks, sanitizer, alcohol rubs or whatever it is, disinfectant, cleaning supplies, soap, masks, gloves, food, things like that, supplies. It's like living in the zombie apocalypse. It's almost like The Walking Dead. And I kept saying, because I was a fan of The Walking Dead, I knew what to do in case of an apocalypse or something. And I'm still not completely prepared. I mean, I don't have a generator or anything. I live in an apartment. If the lights go out, I got to make sure, cell phones are charged. I have battery chargers and things like that. Lights. All right, let's see. What does Vanessa say? My district is starting out with virtual learning in a few weeks. Vanessa, it's not that bad. There's a learning curve for both the teachers and the students. However, you'll get through it. You'll do it. New York did it. We got through it. Actually, my daughter flourished. She did amazing. And she basically said, oh, the kids would talk too much when we were in class. So the kids really couldn't talk because you were virtually learning. Hi, Suzanne. How are you? Hope all is well. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for joining. Nova, what's up? How you doing? Long time no see. Yeah, California is going to go through the same thing, Jason. Virtual learning. You'll get used to it. But I think you're a professor, if I remember correctly. So it might be a little bit different for you than in, let's say, like elementary, junior high school, or high school. Yeah, Vanessa, you are right. It is much better than the alternative. Yeah, working in any capacity, whether it's from home, virtually, whatever, I'm very thankful I have the job I have in technology. And I'm thankful that I was able to jump on this WebEx stuff and be an admin for it, because I'll tell you, that's saving my job right now. Marketable skill. That's our topic today. That's one of my marketable skills. So let's say it didn't work out at this job I'm currently at. Maybe I can go somewhere else and take that skill somewhere else, and all the other skills that I acquired over the years. You take it to the next level, you get more education, you use those skills and expand your horizons. So yeah, marketable skills. And this thought came to me because basically all this COVID stuff. What are you going to do to make an opportunity for yourself? If, God forbid, something happens and you're no longer employed, then what do you do to survive? You have to find something that you have, a skill, something you're good at. Find it, fine-tune it, work on it, put yourself out there, and give it a shot, because we got to all be in survival mode at this time. Again, I said I'm fortunate to have my job, but mentally preparing yourself is also very important. If I lost my job tomorrow, I'm really not going to freak out. Initially, I'm going to be like, I lost my job. What am I going to do? And then I'm going to sit down and take a deep breath and go, wait a minute. I can build computers. I could probably detail cars. I could do a podcast. I have AV skills. I can run soundboards. I can DJ. So I have certain skills. Heck, I shine pretty good shoes too. If I had to stand on the corner and shine shoes and sit on a bucket to shine shoes to make money, to put food on my table, guess what? I'm going to do that. If I had to work at McDonald's and shine shoes and build computers, I would do that. I would use whatever skill that I had and make myself marketable. Marketable skills. That's today's topic. I know I'm going on and on about it. And I know I might get criticism about it. But this is my show. not your show. Anyway, let's keep moving on. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from Facebook. I want to see if you guys want to join me live, have a conversation. Vanessa, if you're willing to, I'll give you that info for the Zoom. You can go on Zoom and we could talk about your book if you'd like. No pressure. Just let me know. Let me know right here. And I'll give you the info and you can join us and you can talk about your marketing skills. Marketable skills, sorry. And we're at 7:30, so we're halfway done. We're running out of time here. The show is only an hour. It used to be an hour and a half, but that was too much. It only needs to be an hour. All right, Vanessa, you got it. Just give me 2 moments. Need to keep hydrated. All right, while I send this information to Vanessa, I want you guys maybe to talk amongst yourselves. All right, we're going to hear more about the book. We're going to get Vanessa on here. Just give me a moment. Had to get that out there. This way, Vanessa can join us, and she could talk about her book, and I will show that book again. Again, this is fading into the background because this has almost the same color as the green screen. So, Completely Cain and Venus by V. Williams. And hopefully she'll be joining us on Zoom in a moment and she could talk about her book that I have not yet read yet. What's up, Nova? Yeah, miss you too, man. They told us they don't know when we're going to physically go back to work. We're working from home. I'm stuck in this room. Okay, here we go. Hang on. All right, we have Vanessa. She's going to join us now. Hi, Vanessa, you're muted. Can you hear me? Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm lovely, dear. How about yourself?
Great. All right. So let me bring down this music a little bit. Okay. Now let's put you full screen. Okay, great. So, how are you?
I'm great, honey. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us live on Zoom.
I love your background.
Thank you. I have a green screen behind me.
Ah.
So I'm able to get that effect. And then on Zoom,
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying to match what I'm doing on Facebook and on Zoom at the same time.
Oh, okay.
You know, always trying to improve things.
Yeah, make it more interesting.
Make it better, the quality and stuff like that. And so let's talk about your book.
Yes.
Let's hear about this marketable skill.
My marketable skill. Yeah, you know, I mean, as a teacher, when you're off and you have time and you just like, what do I want to do? And it just kind of started last summer. I started last June. And I'm a big time reader. I read a lot. I'm an avid reader. I think like within 6 months, I'd read over 50 books. Wow. And I kept thinking about a story I had in my head. And I was just like, I'm not an author or anything like that. And I started writing ideas down. I started getting messages from different people. Like, I think it was, what's her name? Shonda Rhimes, who does a lot of TV shows. And not personally from her, just something I read.
Oh, okay.
Let's not be confused. I don't know her. Her.
Okay. Yeah, you never know.
I read something that she wrote, and she talked about how, like, she writes the end of her stories first.
Oh,
okay. So she writes with the end in mind. And then I saw a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in years. I don't know if you know her. She went to school with us, Kim Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. I remember Kim.
I saw her randomly. We were going to go see Avengers Endgame, and she was there.
Oh, wow.
And she said to me, yeah, you used to write stories all the time. You know, you used to write stories, and you would give them to me. And I'm like, really? And she's like, I don't even know how this came up in the conversation. And like I said, it was just kind of a random meeting. And I just kind of kept thinking about that and just kept thinking about the story in my head, and I couldn't let it go. So I just started writing it down in a regular old composition notebook. And yeah, gotta love the composition notebooks. And
Yeah, right?
yeah, and so I wrote the end first and just kind of thought about the characters, like, who are they? What do they do? Where do they work? And just kind of, because they're real people, they're just real relatable people. And so it just kind of went from there. It just went from there. And I wrote it, I was done by August, and then kind of held on to it, and then didn't know what to do with it. And I was like, okay, so you wrote this story, like, what are you going to do now? And that's when I reached out to an editor and gave it over to her. It was literally like handing my child to somebody, because no one had read it up until that point. So I was kind of nervous about just giving it to her.
And that was your first experience doing that.
Yeah.
So you're like, maybe they'll love it. Maybe what are they going to think of it?
Pretty much. And I mean, when she first sent it back to me, it was read all over the place. And I was completely in my feelings about that, because I was just like, oh, she hated it. And, and what am I doing? I'm like, a woman of a certain age, what am I thinking? Why am I doing this? And when I read all her suggestions and her ideas, I loved it, and she asked some valid questions. Well, you need to fix this, or you need to do that. And it was really very helpful. And that's one thing as a writer, or I think as anyone, you should not push away any constructive suggestions or that's constructive help, because that's what you want to do. You want to get better. So you want someone to say, hey, this is good, but you could do this and make it better. Or did you ever think about this? You did ever think about that? Because if you stay onto that island unto yourself, it may just be okay, but someone can help you make it better.
That's true.
So she did her editing like in 3 segments, and I think we wrapped it up around February. So by March, I was still teaching, in person, of course, at that point, and kind of working. I still have a family. I have school-age kids and doing all that. So I kind of worked on it a little bit, and I was just kind of afraid for a while to kind of let it out there, and just one day I was like, what? Hey, you wrote it. If it sucks, it sucks. If it doesn't, that's great. And just kind of throw it out in the world and just see what happens.
But it's something you did. You wanted to do it. You put your mind to it. You executed it. Mm-hmm. And you put it out there. So now you could cross that off your list.
Yep.
Of things that I've done in my life. I have, when you sit back and you think of things, sometimes you're like, you get down on yourself and you're like, oh, I don't own a house. Mm-hmm. I have 1 child. She's a great child. I love her. I would have loved to have 2 children. I would have loved to have been to Europe. I would have, But then I sit back, and then I say to myself, wait a minute. I don't have such a bad life.
No.
And I've done a lot of the things that I've wanted to do in life already. Mm-hmm.
And right? A lot of times, that's what we need to do, focus on what we have and what we don't have.
Right.
It's always easier to focus on the negative, and we do that. Oh, it's COVID-19 and I can't do this and I can't do that. I can stay home and appreciate my family. I can make improvements in my home. I can make improvements on myself. I can, like you said, you're looking at all these things on YouTube about how to do this, because God knows there's everything on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be stupid or dumb about anything. You can just go to YouTube.
I joke with my wife all the time. I said, I'm like a student of YouTube University. I'm like constantly, I'm like obsessed with YouTube. Uh-huh. I wasn't sure about how to build this computer. I watched over 100 videos. I'm like looking at different parts. All these things. And I tell all my friends, you want to learn something, don't ask me, go to YouTube.
Yeah.
You learn everything. Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
all on there. Something as simple. Even when I was trying to format my book, and Word wasn't really doing what I needed to do. I'm like, okay, this cannot be this difficult. And of course, there was some video on there that's saying, how do you do this and how do you do that? And I just, you just put it in a Google search and find it. So again, you don't have to struggle, like we did back in the day and didn't have this technology.
Oh my God.
You might as well use it to your advantage.
Vanessa, remember when you had to get we used to, this is going to be funny. We used to go to Wallbaum's or whatever food store, and sometimes they'd have the encyclopedias. And, and every time you go shopping, my parents would buy two volumes. Then the next time they'd buy two, and by like either a few weeks or like a few months, you'd have the whole set.
You'd have the whole set.
Oh, where'd you get this encyclopedia? Oh, I got it at Wallbaum's. Wallbaum's.
Yeah, they had a little kiosk or a little stand over there, and then somebody was selling it. Yep. And that's where you found your information.
Or we had to sit hours and hours in the library, you know? I mean,
yep.
That's what it is. So, yeah. That was great that you just took a story and you just put it out there, and sometimes you can't have the fear. That fear sometimes binds us. Sometimes people are saying to me, "Oh, you're crazy to go start a little DJ mobile business at your age," and I'm like,
I know, because because you're dead at a certain age.
I'm like, well, maybe I'm not successful in that business, but I did it. You can't say I can't do it. I did it. I might not be booking parties every week, but I did it. You can't tell me I can't do it. Right. Especially, music. And I have such a vast array of music that I listen to at different genres and everything. So some DJs just mix hip hop, or they just mix EDM, or they just mix, house music. Some DJs do open format, which is pretty much everything. Like wedding DJs, they do like all genres. But I did want to ask you, maybe I just didn't look carefully enough. Did you self-publish this, or was this?
I went the self-publishing route. I did submit it to an editor, but it was interesting. Like, she sent me a contract and everything. She said, I'm interested in publishing your book, and it sounds really interesting. But when I started going through the contract and reading it, it was going to obligate me to certain things.
Right. Okay.
And at this age and stage in my life, I don't want to be obligated to anything, because to me that brings a level of stress. I put stress on myself enough. So like, even in this book, I said the second one is coming out in the fall 2020.
That's great.
That was to give myself that, okay, this is your time frame in which to do the second one and to get it done. But to have someone say, okay, in this amount of months, I need this amount of word count from you, I need this from you. Yeah, I wasn't interested in that. And I told
you
her,
want to do it on your terms.
Yeah. And I said, I just really appreciated the opportunity. I said, but I think I'm gonna just go another route. And it was already written, it was already formatted. I already had a graphic designer come up with my cover. I didn't really need to do but so much. And this one lady that was helping me from Texas, it's amazing to me how many people you can meet on social media and that really are very, very helpful, and you can make connections with. And she was just like, you don't really seem like you need anything but to just publish through Amazon. She's like, you can sell your book that way.
Okay.
What'd you say?
So you published this through Amazon?
Through Amazon, yeah.
That's great. The reason why I asked, because like my wife was asking all kinds of questions, because my wife likes to write as well. Okay. And I'm really not that involved with her writing stuff, but she's like, done like some moderating on fan fiction stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I think she's starting to do like some sort of blog or something like that. So she's into writing as well. So that's why she asked me, try to find out, how did she do it? Did she self-publish? Did she,
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. There's so many self-publishing routes. I mean, there are like, of course, there's the big Random House and the big places like that. But there's a lot of indie places that you can publish through. And then you can publish through Barnes and Noble. You can publish through Amazon. You can publish through Apple, Apple as well.
Apple, yeah.
So, I mean, there's just different routes you can take because, again, everyone may not get picked up by, as a first-time author, get picked up by Random House or any of the big publishing houses. They're looking for certain people. They're looking for a certain thing. So, I mean, they have smaller divisions of those bigger companies, but still, they're looking for a certain type. And, if you just want to get your story out there and you have all those other requirements, you have a solid story, always get it edited. Again, always, I would recommend that to anybody. Get a professional editor that you've seen their name, you know that they've edited other people's work, you've read those people's work, and and go through those kind of things. Don't just just do it yourself, but find those resources that can help you, and and take a creative writing class. I'm in a class right now about creative writing. I read other genres. I don't just read the genre that I write. So just kind of exposing yourself to different sources to help you as a writer.
What was I gonna say? That was a really good move to have it edited professionally. Like my wife, she always says, like, when she's on, moderating some of these fan fiction stories, and even some actual books that are out there. I won't name any authors, but there are some books that, like, my wife had read, and she said, "Oh my God, it was horrible. It was edited, but it wasn't edited well." So, and my wife considers herself a grammarian. So, yeah, that's great. And you have, and the second, is it a sequel to this story, or is it a different story? The second book?
I don't like sequels per se. I don't like cliffhangers. I don't like any of those types of stories. I don't like you have to read book B to find out what happened at the end of book A. Okay. But they are people that are in this story, and it's just their separate story.
Got it.
So I want it. It's going to be 3 all in all, and it's all going to kind of involve the same people, but each person has their own story. So you could read them out of order if you want to. You don't have to read them in order. So that's how I kind of wanted it to be. But it's kind of circulating in the same universe of people.
Got it. That's great. We only have like about 10 minutes left, 12 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. And it's great to see you as well.
It is great to see you too.
You look exactly the same. You didn't age.
Thank you. Thank you. I still, I have this memory of you when we were at, I think we were still at, you were a smart ass. You were at 276, I think. And like somebody had done something. I don't remember what happened, but somebody had done something, and like the teacher was asking you, like, did you do it? And you were saying something. You said something real facetious, and she was like, you're so fresh, and you said, yes, fresh and clean.
I was always a jokester.
And,
what can I say?
She looked at you like, she just moved on to the next kid. Like, I don't know what to do with him. I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
I don't think she expected you to say that. But it was funny. It was funny.
I was a good kid, so.
Yes, you were.
Okay,
you
let's
get away
see.
with those little smart comments every now and then.
Somebody's talking to me on Facebook. Let's see. We got a few people, so let me just say hello to them real quick. I didn't want to ignore them. How you doing, Henry? Thanks. Neil, thanks for joining. Yeah, what's up, Jason? Let's see. Mike, did you know I wrote this years ago? No, I did not. Well, my buddy Jason from college, he wrote a book as well. Breaking into Television. It's on Amazon. So you guys can check that out if you guys are interested in television. Or even if you're not interested in television, go look for Jason T. Siegel's book on Amazon.com. And also look for V. Williams' book, Completely Kane. Oh, wait, it's blending in. And Venus. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate that.
I love seeing you. It was, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you. So, we got about 10 minutes left. And so I do want to ask you, I don't know, maybe I missed it somewhere. What do you actually teach in school, and what grade do you teach?
Oh, I teach everything, and I teach 4th grade.
4th grade, okay.
Teaching 4th grade for about 5 years now.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you're down in Georgia, is that correct?
Yeah. Georgia, yeah.
What part of Georgia?
It's near Stone Mountain. It's about 20 minutes from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So it's like in the suburban area. Yeah, so.
Nice.
And you were talking about schools and things, and we just found out from our superintendent that we were going to go virtual. We just found that out Tuesday? Yeah.
You'll get through it. It won't be so
bad. I mean, we did it in March. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't ideal, but at the same time, it just kind of beats the alternative. And kids can still learn that way, and you just have to find a way to connect with them and make sure they're getting what they need. And, we have
keep
to make
them
it work.
engaged, and then you have to make sure I don't know the age of your children, but you would have to
make
keep
sure
them.
they're I have a rising third grader and a rising eighth grader, and just making sure that they are scheduled and doing what they need to do. So it's all a balancing act. And the thing is, we have to make it work. So we don't have a choice right now, so you make it work.
You know what they say, you have to roll with the punches, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So when things happen, at first you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But then you just sit down, take a breath, and you go, okay, I think we will handle this. We got
come
this.
Come up with a plan.
Yeah.
Because you guys have to do that with Sophia too.
Yeah.
You said school starting for you when, August?
Usually September.
Okay.
Most places around the country start around August, but in New York, we're still
in September.
Yeah.
We wish we started in September, but hey, we get out in May. We
get out
in May.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, so it works out.
That's good. So after you finished college, you went to college in Atlanta?
Yeah. I kind of started when I was in the Army a little bit, taking classes there. But once I got out of active duty, I started college here.
That's awesome. If you don't mind me asking, what did you do in the Army?
I was an administrative assistant for a while, and then when I was in the reserves, I became a chaplain assistant, and then I was a chaplain assistant instructor. So I was still teaching in the military, teaching people about being a chaplain assistant. So that was probably about the best job I had the whole time I was being an instructor. I loved it.
There you go.
Teaching adults is really, really fun.
Marketable skills. That's
Marketable
what we're talking about. That's it, right there. You got a lot of different skills, which is always important to have. You've had some really good life experiences as well.
Yep, the military definitely gave it to me.
I'm sure it did. I wasn't cut out for the military. I would have been too much of a wise ass. Come on, son, do them push-ups.
That's why they try to grab you when you're 18, so they can mold you still.
Mold you, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want you when you're old.
That's great.
Oh, boy.
So that's your office where you prep all your stuff, or you just?
This is actually my husband's office.
Oh, okay.
I don't have one during the. And he shares it with me every now and then. But when I was teaching, I was really using the dining room upstairs.
That's like my wife. That's like where she works from. She works in the dining room.
You got a big
She's
old
like, I don't
table.
have a space.
Yeah, you got a big old table, and it's a lot of natural light that comes into that room. So I ended up working up there. He made the lights in here brighter because it used to be darker. Because I was like a dungeon down here. I mean, it's a cool space, but it was dark. So he put in the extra lights. And
you don't have the she shed?
No, my daughter and I are trying to get one. We're trying to get We're trying to get a lady lounge.
The lady lounge. That's even better. Lady lounge. So we got like 5 minutes left. Thank you so much for joining us. I know we like kind of went back and forth a little about it, and I'm really glad that you were able to do this. And you can promote your book anytime you want to jump on here. I'll be glad to promote it for you. That's never a problem. I'm always looking out for my friends or classmates or whoever. I'm always trying to help them. Do you remember Malik Sherrod?
Yeah.
Remember Malik? Uh-huh. He has a little business that he does, and I always try to help him as well, or anybody else. We got tons of people from the old neighborhood that I'm always trying to help. Anybody, like my wife's cousin has a brewery, because
it doesn't hurt to network. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to help people,
Why not help somebody if I can? Sure. That's also like part of my nature. I like to help people, so I'm not asking for anything. I'm not asking for a sponsorship or anything like that. I'm just trying to help some people that I know.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice thing to do. And on that note, we got 4 minutes left. If you're still on Facebook, let me know. Hey, Dawn. Nice to see you on here. You remember Dawn Nevison?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the military too. If I remember correctly, believe she was in the Air Force.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've seen like she may have posted some pictures online on Facebook.
So a lot of people went to military. So
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school.
I
No
didn't want to
clue.
go to college at first. I wanted to be an actor. But that didn't work out the way I wanted. And my father, because, you know, he was a teacher, a chemistry teacher, he was like, no, you must get an education. What if it doesn't work out? I said, but I'll make it work out. He said, no.
No.
You got to go to school. I was like,
Yeah.
all right. Last minute, I went to Kingsborough, and then I went to Brooklyn College. I started as a theater major, and I went from theater, and then I started to get a little bit more with behind the scenes stuff, running soundboards and lighting and things like that, and that caught my interest. And besides the acting, I learned other skills. And then I went to Brooklyn College, and when they didn't accept all my credits and I got frustrated with the theater program, which I was almost done with, I had maybe one semester left, and I had to wait for that class to be offered. And then when I took that class, it was a costume design class. And I said, what am I doing with this? I have no interest in sewing or making costumes. And I couldn't complete projects because every time I went to go to use a sewing machine, it was used up. And I wasn't about to spend money. You know, broke college kids, we have no money. So I said, the hell with this. And I had already taken like 2 TV classes. So one of my friends convinced me. He said, Mike, you could take all these lighting and sound and all this stuff and just try your hand at TV. So I did that. Took TV classes. First job out of college was in television.
Wow.
I worked at a talk show straight out of college. And then I did freelance production. And eventually found myself as an associate producer for a nationally aired documentary. And then I fell into audiovisual by accident from a friend that I worked with in television production. And I've been doing audiovisual ever since. And there you go. Marketable skills. And that's going to be it for today's Bluesilver Video Podcast. I want to thank Vanessa Williams, or as she's known as her author name, V. Williams. Again, go pick up Completely Kane in Venus. Well, it's getting off the camera. It's on Amazon. And thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I hope all is well with everyone. And I want everybody to tune in next time for the Bluesilver Video Podcast. Everybody have a great evening and a great week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Take care.
Bye.